job.
I was enjoying that music.
I don't know what you were playing, but it certainly wasn't music. So, what was it last night? The morphine or the cocaine?
It was not morphine. It was a 7% solution. Care to try it?
No, thank you.
Pity. Get the housework done in a flash.
I will never understand.
Is that a general comment, or is there more?
I will never understand why someone as brilliant as yourself takes the drugs.
Yes, you're right. You will never understand.
Why do you do it?
To suspend.
Suspend what?
Disbelief. I'm a weak man, Mrs. Hudson.
Ah, bollocks.
Don't be fooled by my exterior.
Oh, I am not. And talking of your exterior, is that my dressing gown?
Actually, yes, I think it might be. Sorry. Look, have you no ironing to do?
Yes. Have you no cases to solve?
No, I haven't.
I spoke to John last night.
Who?
He said that you were disapproved of Miss Morstan.
Yoko Ono. That woman's going to split up our band.
Stop being over-dramatic.
I'm looking for a new partner now. What do you think?
About what?
Holmes and Hudson. It's got a nice ring to it. Also a splendid opportunity for alliteration. Holmes and Hudson at the haunted house, or Holmes, Hudson have happy arrangement.
You stick to the cases, I'll stick to the housework.
You're not fun anymore.
And anyway, it would be Hudson and Holmes. Thank you very much.
Whatever, as the young people would say. Oh. Any chance of some coffee?
Yes, you make it yourself. Why are you being like this?
You're talking about him again, aren't you?
He is entitled to be happy.
No, he is
Oh,
not.
yes, he is. He's found someone he loves. Why can't you be happy for him?
I am. I'm delirious.
Oh, Sherlock, I know you better than this. I know you're a big softy at heart.
Ah, well, there you go then. You've just proved that you don't know me at all.
Will you go to the wedding?
Nope. But I'll be there at the decree absolute.
Stop being a gobshite.
Mrs. Hudson, please. Do not swear in front of your dressing gown. Or I'll give you a dressing down.
Yeah, that's incredible. Right, I'll go and get you some breakfast. Would the munchies be all right?
Oh, lovely. A whiskey over them as well.
You need to treat John better. He deserves better. Ring him. Get him. Make it up.
No way.
Oh, well, why not?
Treat them mean, keep them keen.
Jesus, you're hard work.
Leave me then, leave me. They all do in the end.
Will you stop being so self-pathetic?
Self-pathetic? What does that actually mean? Self-pathetic? It's not even a
No,
saying.
just shut your gob, Sherlock. Come on, snap out of it. These days you can be married and have a career. Get him involved again. But be nice.
I'm always nice.
Why do we put up with shoes?
You really want to know?
Yes, actually I do.
You put up with me because I'm different. I'm alive, and I see things that other people can't. Because I make people laugh and cry, and I make people feel alive. Everybody is boring. I am different. Nowadays, everybody speaks and speaks, but says nothing. You put up with me because I'm interesting, exciting, and brilliant. Bit too much.
No shite, Sherlock. Well, I wonder who that could be.
Well, we could stay here and guess, or one of us could go and find out. Let's see, your job is housekeeper, so...
I'll go. And if it's John, be nice.
And if it isn't?
Then just be yourself.
So, who was it last night, then? Focus. Good choice.
The invisible man is at the door.
Tell him I can't see him. You never tire of that.
It's your favourite joke.
Who is it?
Oh, it's a Dr. Mortimer. He has a case, and he's come here because he wants to employ a brilliant consultant detective. And he wonders if you know one.
How bloody how. Send him in.
Sherlock, may I introduce Dr. James Mortimer?
Is it Sherlock Holmes who I am addressing?
I observe from your forefinger that you make your own cigarettes. Please have no hesitation in lighting one.
No, I'm okay.
Pity. I was hoping to enjoy the smell. Mrs. Hudson has got me onto one of these infernal electronic cigarettes, which apparently is good for me, as it assures that I do not inhale chemicals.
Sure, shall I make us some tea?
Capital idea.
I was hoping John Watson would be here. I was hoping to catch up with him. John and I served in the Gulf together.
I see. And so shall you in due course. Anyway, how can I help? Please, take a seat.
I came to you, Mr. Holmes, because I am informed you are the leading consultant detective in Europe.
Some would say the world.
Of course, I apologize if I've offended you.
Not at all. I know where I sit amongst my peers. So, how may I be of assistance?
In my pocket I have a letter.
Yes, I observed it as you entered the room.
Only to be opened in the event of my death.
Am I to assume that whoever wrote that is now dead?
Yes, Sir Charles Baskerville. He met a tragic end a few months ago. A few weeks before his death, he handed me this letter. He took this document very seriously.
Why you?
Because I was his personal friend and his doctor.
Curse of the Baskervilles. Dramatic opening.
Yes, it is a statement of a certain legend which runs through the Baskerville family. This letter is written by Sir Charles about his father Hugo, who died almost 1 year ago now.
Ah, tea! Splendid. This will make us all feel better. Do stay, Mr. Hudson. This will be good grounding for our new partnership.
I have ironing to do.
Marvellous woman. She'll be listening in at the door, no doubt. Won't you, Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, no.
With your permission, Mr. Holmes, I shall read it to you.
Excellent. I loved Jackanory.
You are reading this because I am dead. My father Hugo died in gruesome circumstances. My research is set forth to those who come after.
Okay, let's cut to the point, shall we? Hugo, in love with a working-class girl. He and a few of his rich cronies abduct the girl, hold her prisoner in an upstairs room at Baskerville Hall. They get drunk downstairs. Hugo goes upstairs, checks on the girl, finds that she is gone. Hugo goes out onto the moor to search for her, finds her dead. Her head cracked open on a stone where she had evidently fallen.
Please, Mr. Holmes! Let me finish the story.
I'm all ears.
I shall continue. Hugo's cronies, as you called them, followed Hugo and came to the site where he saw the girl. It was not the sight of her body which raised the hair upon their heads. It was the sight of that foul thing which stood over Hugo's body, plucking at his throat. A great black beast shaped like a hound, yet larger than any hound that ever mortal eye has rested upon. They looked as the thing saw the throat as of Hugo Baskerville. Then it turned its blazing eyes and dripping jaws upon them. They stood frozen, then they ran away across the moor. One died that very night of the shock of what he had seen, and the others were broken men who fled the area to escape the moor and its hound.
Is that it?
Now Charles continues. I researched my family and discovered there are other fathers who have suffered the same fate as my father Hugo. I write this in hope that it will never be read, but if it is, I urge someone to investigate this terrible curse which has befallen my family, and now possibly me. Signed, Sir Charles Baskervilles.
Only to be opened in the event of my death.
Yes. Do you not find it frightening?
Yes, to a collector of fairy tales.
Now, Mr. Holmes, let me tell you about the death of Sir Charles Baskerville, which occurred on the 14th of February this year. The coroner stated natural causes and witnessed there was no sign of physical injury on the body. And although he did witness an incredible facial distortion, he stated this was not uncommon in cases of death from cardiac exhaustion.
Yes, I remember reading some news about Sir Charles's death, but I was too involved in a case in Europe at the time to take much further interest. However, one assumes you're about to furnish me with further details.
Yes. And this is my main purpose of my visit to you.
Excellent.
In doing so, Mr. Holmes, I am confiding to you something which I have not told anyone.
Not even the coroner.
Not even the coroner. My motive for withholding it from the coroner's inquiry is that a man of science shrinks from placing himself in the public position of seeming to endorse a popular superstition.
The curse.
Yes.
Please, continue.
Sir Charles had been ill for some time. So as his doctor, I got to see a lot of him. Within the last few weeks of his life, it became increasingly plain to me that Sir Charles's nervous system was strained to breaking point. He had taken the legend, the curse, to heart. So much so that although he'd walk his own grounds, nothing would induce him to go out on the moor at night. The feeling of some ghastly presence constantly haunted him. This constant anxiety was having a serious effect upon his health.
Mind is a powerful tool. You play powerful games.
Indeed. And at the time, that was my opinion entirely. Which my view has since changed.
Go on.
I was informed of Sir Charles' death by Barrymore the butler. I arrived at Baskerville Hall to examine Sir Charles, and I was guided by Barrymore as we followed his footsteps. I noted the spot at the gate where it seemed to have waited. I remarked the change in the shape of the prints after that point, and I noted there were no other prints save those of Barrymore's on the soft gravel. But finally, I carefully examined the body, which had not been touched upon my arrival. Sir Charles lay in his face, his arms out, his fingers touching to the ground, and his face fixed with some strong emotion, such an extent I could have hardly have sworn to his identity. There was certainly no physical injury of any kind. But one false statement was made by Barrymore at the inquest. He stated there were no traces around the body. He did not notice any. But I did. Some little distance off, resting later.
Footprints!
Footprints!
A man's or a woman's?
Mr. Holmes, these were the footprints of a gigantic hound.
Dun, dun, dun!
You do not believe me.
In a word, no. These footprints, you clearly saw them.
Clearly as I see you.
Yet you said nothing at the inquest.
Or the point you would believe me.
How is it that nobody else saw them?
The marks from 20 yards from the body and no one gave them a thought. I don't suppose I would have done it if I'd not known about the legend.
I suppose there are many animals on the moor. Cows, sheepdogs.
These were not the footprints of a sheepdog.
You say they were large?
Enormous.
Enormous. Before, they were gigantic. I wonder which is bigger, enormous or gigantic?
You are teasing me, Mr. Holmes.
Not at all, merely trying to investigate facts. Now, from what you stated, these enormous, gigantic footprints were some 20 yards from the body, so I assume you are telling me that this hound did not approach the body.
No.
What sort of night was it?
Damp and raw.
But not actually raining?
No.
Now tell me, this is important. You say there was a spot where he seemed to have waited. What makes you deduce that he had waited?
Because on the floor there was ash. Several circles of ash which he must have tapped from his cigar.
Excellent. I like your thinking, Dr. Mortimer. I only wish you could have brought me in that night so I could have conducted a full investigation. May I ask you a question?
Of course.
You are a man of science and medicine, are you not?
Yes.
And yet you believe in the supernatural.
I did not say that.
No, but you evidently think it.
Since the incident, Mr. Holmes, have come to my ears several accounts which are hard to reconcile with the settled order of nature.
Please explain.
During my time inside the Baskerville Hall, I heard many accounts from many people which say they'd seen a figure upon the moor which corresponds with this Baskerville demon.
And you believe it to be supernatural.
I do not know what to believe.
Well, Dr. Mortimer, let me tell you what I believe. I believe there is no such thing as the supernatural, that there is only natural order. And I do not believe that there is a gigantic Hound. What I believe will emerge will be the gigantic need of some villain or other, whose motive will be lust, greed, money, or any of the other themes which the great Will-I-Am Shakespeare wrote about. I see you've quite gone over to the supernaturalists. I have yet to make that journey, and I suspect you knew this before coming here tonight. So tell me, why have you come to consult with me?
Because I thought you might be able to help. John suggested I contact you.
John?
Yes. Also, I was going to seek your view about what happens next.
Next.
With Sir Henry Baskerville.
Who?
Sir Henry Baskerville, the next in line, Sir Charles' son. He arrives at Waterloo Station tomorrow morning, I believe.
Excellent. There is an heir to the throne.
Yes, when his parents split up, his mother moved them both to Canada. He is the last of line, and therefore he is really precious to us.
There is no other heir.
None, why do you ask?
No reason.
Now, Mr. Holmes, what do you advise me to do with him?
Why should I not go to the hall?
Well, when you consider that every Baskerville who steps foot on the moor comes to an evil fate, it makes me nervous to take him there. Which is why I came to you.
Dr. Mortimer, if your supernatural theory is correct, surely the young Baskerville would be in as much danger in Canada as he would be at Baskerville Hall. A demon with merely local powers would be too inconceivable a thing.
You put the matter more flippantly, Mr. Holmes, then perhaps you wouldn't be put into personal contact with these things.
Well, as always, seeing is believing.
So despite your reservations, will you take the case?
What case?
To get to the bottom of the curse, be it natural or supernatural.
I'll tell you what. John Watson is very much looking forward to a new adventure. You contact him. Tell him what you've told me. If he's on board, so am I.
Thank you.
Not at all. Anything to help the heroes. You can come in now, Mrs. Hudson. Dr. Mortimer is leaving us now.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Thank me when I've taken the case. You know what to do.
Right, yes, I shall leave you.
Please show Dr. Mortimer the way out. Bring Henry here tomorrow night. We can start to construct a plan.
I will. Thank you again.
I assume you heard all that?
Why do that to
Oh,
John?
Mrs. Hudson, I'm trying to do my best by everyone.
But mostly yourself.
Leave me, Mrs. Hudson. I want to be alone.
Oh, yes, Greta. So, is it going to be the morphine or the cocaine?
I'm not sure yet. May need both.